So Halloween is this Friday, so I'm going to start with a video of a ghost captured on camera. In this video, the ghost will appear very suddenly. The ghost was captured on camera while surprisingly filming a car advertisement. I'm going to ask you all to very closely watch the car, and especially the windows, because the ghost will appear very suddenly and you may miss it. Okay. So now that all of you in the room absolutely hate me, because I hate it when people show me these videos, let's start with my presentation. This video is a great example of the fight or flight response. Some of you in the room, including myself, may have your heartbeats may start increasing, your eyes become dilated, and adrenaline is now pumping throughout your bodies. My name is Jack Schnick, and I'm a student at Augsburg College. The purpose of my presentation is to introduce you to Shelley Taylor's research on tandem befriend. So I'm going to go to my PowerPoint. It's going to die. Hopefully. I will cover the following three topics during my presentation. 1. What is our research methods on tandem befriend? 2. The findings of our research. And 3. The analysis of our research. Let's begin with Shelley Taylor's research methods. She found the need for this research by reviewing previous research that had been done 60 years earlier by Walter Cannon, who first discovered the fight or flight response. She found that prior to 1995, women constituted only 17% of participants in laboratory studies of physiological and neuroendocrine responses to stress. This created a striking opportunity to build a theory on women's response to stress. Dr. Shelley Taylor's research began by gathering evidence for gender differences in biological and behavioral responses to stress. She then examined neuroendocrine data from animal studies that accounted for these differences. Finally, she conducted literature on human and non-human primate responses to stress that parallels with neuroendocrine research. So now that I've talked briefly about her research methods, let's transition into the results from her research. Due to time constraints and the purpose of the presentation, I will be covering the key results compiled by Dr. Shelley Taylor and her team at this time. So let's begin by viewing the evidence for gender differences in response to stress. She found that male response to stress was closely related to testosterone. According to Taylor, studies of captive human populations, including incarcerated felons and psychiatric patients, showed positive relations between testosterone and their ratings for aggressive behaviors. Unlike in females, Taylor found that human female aggression responses are not organized by testosterone and are unlikely to evoke a female response as they do in males. According to Taylor, in human males there appears to be a link between sympathetic reactivity and hostility, whereas hostility in females is not a reliable component for fight and flight. In order to account for these differences, Taylor found that the stress response of females was regulated by oxytocin. Oxytocin has been found to enhance sedation and relaxation, reduce fearfulness, and decrease sympathetic activity. Patterns of response that are absolutely opposite for the fight or flight response. In addition, tending and the resulting grooming of touching that occurs in mother-infant contact may help quiet infants causing bidirectional flow of oxytocin. Finally, researching the literature that corresponds to these results, Taylor found that in primate grouping, shared caretaking responsibilities as evidence of befriending. Furthermore, days when mothers reported the most stress at work, children reported that their mothers provided the most love and nurturance. This acts as evidence for tending in human stressor behaviors. Now let's transition into what this data tells us. Dr. Shelley Taylor's research proves that the fight or flight physiological response is present in both genders throughout the activation of sympathetic nervous system that innervates the adrenal medulla, cascading of hormones into the bloodstream. Contrasting the male response to stress, females differ because stress response is not linked to sympathetic arousal of testosterone. Through further analysis, her research found that instead oxytocin mediated the female response to stress. After reviewing literature on non-human and human responses to stress, Taylor found that tend to befriend is a more appropriate female response. Transitioning into the limitations of her research, 3 were found. 1. The usage of rodents in neuroendocrine research contrasts to the study of primate human behavioral studies. Furthermore, the nature of the stressor was often not considered during her studies, and a uniform stressor was not involved for all the experiments. Thirdly, cyclical variation due to female reproductive cycle caused confusing data collection due to varying neuroendocrine responses. For possible further research on this topic, the models currently used to explain tandem befriend heavily relies on the use of oxytocin, but the consideration that serotonin, vasopressin, and dopamine as other usage could clarify the neuroendocrine response model. Secondly, this research has not been considered the equally flexible male response to stress, and research beyond the Miller fight or flight response for males is required. Finally, if women's stress response produces relaxation and affiliation, this may explain why women live on average 7 years longer than their male counterparts. At this time, I'd like to conclude my presentation. Today we talked about tending and befriending, the terms they're involved with that, and just cut off this one.